Very impressionable.
Is there something wrong, Eric?
No, not really. You see, she lost her parents many years ago in a very tragic way. And talking about unhappy past only, she's very impressionable. See, I want her to be happy, Mrs. Snow.
Of course you do, and so do we all. Now, how did she lose them? Well, look, I'm not prying, dear. It's just that Mr. Snow and I can help better if we know something about it.
They drowned in an accident. Jenny saw it all.
Who's Mr. Mauer?
Mr. Mauer? Why, he's a lawyer in town.
I thought no one knew we were coming. You said you heard from Mr. Mauer?
Well, Eric wrote him. He takes care of the estate, or what's left of it.
Oh, that's right. Eric has to see him tomorrow.
Well, Eric's co-executor of the estate along with Mr. Mauer. You see, Marion's death was so sudden that, well, all that was left to Eric was the house and these grounds. Mr. Mauer told me that Eric had found someone very sweet and very kind, and with whom he was very much in love. He didn't say enough.
How did Marion die?
Didn't Eric tell you?
I think the subject's rather painful to him. I don't like to make him talk about it. Would you mind telling me? I'd like to know.
It was a rainy day. She and Mickey had been working up there in the greenhouse. She left him to go back to the house for a few minutes. The way we pieced it together after the accident is that while she was coming down this path, apparently it began to rain very hard. She must have run along here. We don't know, of course, what happened then. Perhaps she slipped on a leaf. Base of her skull was smashed. It was thought that she hit her head on the edge of the cement wall where we're sitting. And she fell in there. She died in the water. That's where Eric found her 10 minutes later.
Marion, you said, Mickey, wait here. I'm going down to the house for just a minute. Wait here, Mickey, you said, and then you went away in the rain. And you didn't come back to play. Man, why did you...
And don't forget that you and Eric are coming for lunch day after tomorrow.
We'll do better than that. We'll come to church on Sunday as well.
Oh, getting Eric to church is like moving a mountain.
He'll come.
Come along, my dear. It's getting late.
Eric, thank you very much for bringing Jenny into our lives.
Thank you for the dinner.
It was a pleasure. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Edward, did you know that Jenny's very wealthy?
Oh, yes. Mr. Mao told me in town today.
Well, she's not at all like Marion. You know, she's so gentle and timid, as if she were afraid of something.
I knew you'd like my friends, dear. Hey, what's this? Huh?
Just happy, that's all.
Oh, come.
So happy.
Come on. How are the cots?
Fine.
What are you reading?
Something Mrs. Snow sent over.
Interesting.
It's called Beast in the Jungle. It's all about a man who waited all of his life for something great, wonderful to happen to him. He had only one good friend. It's a woman whom he confided. And she died. At her grave, he suddenly realized that she was the great and wonderful thing that he'd waited for all of his life. But it was too late then. His memories, like a beast in the jungle, rise up out of the past, overwhelm him.
Oh, poor fellow. He doesn't know what he missed.
Eric? Lily pad? I don't think Mickey looks for her in the pond.
Jenny, now stop it.
I can't help it, Harry. That bad feeling's come back.
I forbid you to talk about it.
She looked like that, Harry. My mother looked like that.
Night.
We won't be bothered with any of Mickey's nightly visits anymore. I've forbidden him to the house.
I was just nervous last night. I wish you wouldn't take it out on Mickey.
Now, he's a child. Must be disciplined.
I'd like him to feel I'm his friend.
Why don't you do some gardening with him while I'm in town? If he sees you're interested, you win him over quickly enough.
Wait a minute. I need a list of staples mostly.
Are you sure you don't want to come in with me?
You get more done without him.
Got to see about the lights, the phone, the bank, and the warehouse people about that furniture. You know, that cop's just about broken my back.
Yeah, don't forget to see Mr. Mauer.
I have to see him this evening. It's a bore, but I'll have to see him.
Will you be home in time for dinner? I'll wait for you.
Now, if I'm not, don't you worry, darling. Getting out of Mauer's clutches sometimes requires an act of God. I love you.
Hello, Mickey. Oh, look out. You almost cut him. He's a handsome one, isn't he? So cuddly and warm. When I was a little girl, I used to want to be a caterpillar. So I was a very little girl. There you go. Marion must have loved her gardens. We'll keep them lovely for her always. You know what I'd like to do, Mickey? I'd like to pick some of the nicest flowers and take them to her. Would you like that?
Yes.
Eric told me she was near here. Would you show me where? Is that all right, Mickey? I'm sure it was a great loss to all of you, Mickey.
She cries
Cries?
in the night.
Dead people don't cry, Mickey.
I heard her.
Heard her? Mickey?
I don't think he quite expects she's gone.
She cries. She cries in the night.
I think he expects her to show up one of these mornings.
She died in the water. The base of her skull was smashed.
She didn't want to die.
She died in the water.